Why falling into cold water can kill you in minutes. You're on a boat, laughing with friends on an ordinary afternoon, and then, in a single second, you're in the water. You didn't hit your head. You aren't tangled in anything. You're a strong swimmer. The shore is right there, and you're perfectly conscious. And your body has already started killing you with a reflex you cannot see, cannot feel coming, and absolutely cannot stop. You've heard how cold water kills. Everyone has. Hypothermia. Your body slowly loses heat until it shuts down. Forget it. Hypothermia takes an hour, often several. And most people who die in cold water never come close to living that long. They're dead in under a minute, long before their body temperature has dropped in any meaningful way at all, which means the thing that kills them isn't the cold making them cold. It's something else entirely, something that fires the instant skin touches water, before your brain has even had time to form the thought, that's freezing. To understand it, you have to understand what your skin actually is, not just a covering. Your skin is a sensor array, wired with thousands of tiny detectors called thermoreceptors, and they are constantly reporting temperature to your nervous system. When water below about 15 degrees Celsius, that's 59 Fahrenheit, hits those receptors all at once, across your entire body, they don't send a message. They send an alarm, and that alarm bypasses your conscious mind completely. It goes straight to the machinery that runs your breathing, and your body does the one thing it must never do underwater. You gasp. Not a small, startled breath. An enormous, involuntary whole-body gulp. A reflex so powerful that it can pull 2 to 3 liters of volume into your chest in a single involuntary heave. You do not choose it. You cannot suppress it. It happens before you are aware it's happening. And now, hold that number next to another one. Because researchers have estimated that the lethal volume of water in the lungs, the amount that is enough to kill an adult, sits somewhere in the region of 1.5 liters. Look at what that means. The size of that single unstoppable gasp is larger than the amount of water it takes to end you. One reflex, just one. And if your face happens to be under the surface at the exact moment it fires, you don't fill your lungs with air. You fill them with the lake. That's the real killer. Not the cold, not exhaustion, not fatigue. It's your own body opening your lungs at the worst possible instant, in a place where lungs must never open. And this is why so many of the dead are found near the boat, near the dock, near the edge, not far out where someone struggled and lost. They never got the chance to struggle. It was over in the first breath, and that's only the opening, because the gasp doesn't come alone. Your breathing rate can spike dramatically, and you begin hyperventilating uncontrollably, sucking in air you don't need, unable to hold a breath, unable to time a breath between waves. Panic feeds it, and your heart is under assault at the same moment. The blood vessels in your skin clamp shut all at once, forcing your heart to hammer against a wall of sudden resistance, and your blood pressure spikes. In someone with an unknown weakness in their heart, that alone can be the end. Not drowning. Cardiac arrest in the water in a healthy-looking person in seconds. Now suppose you survive it. Suppose your head was above water when the gasp came. You've made it through the first minute. You're breathing. You're conscious. You're okay. You're not. Because now something quieter begins, and this one arrives in silence. As your body starts losing heat, it makes a cold decision. It sacrifices your limbs to protect your core. Blood is pulled inward, away from your arms and legs, to keep your heart and brain alive. And what you lose first is your hands. The fine control goes. The ability to grip, to close a fist, to pull a toggle on a life jacket, to hold onto a rope someone throws you. Your fingers become useless hooks. Then, within about 10 minutes, the larger muscles begin to fail too. And this is the part that ruins the one belief almost everyone in the water is relying on. Strong swimmers, people who can do miles in a pool without thinking, find they cannot lift their own arms. The engine is still willing. The machinery has simply stopped answering. And here's the thing that makes all of this so much closer to you than you'd like. This doesn't require ice. It doesn't require winter, or a frozen lake, or Arctic water. Water that is merely cool. Water in the 60s, water you'd hesitate over but happily swim in, water on a pleasant spring day, is cold enough to fire that reflex. Which is exactly how a fisherman goes over the side on a mild morning in water that isn't even that cold, and is gone before anyone on deck understands what they just saw. There's one final cruelty, and it catches even the ones who make it out, because getting pulled from the water is not the end. During the rescue, or in the minutes just after, all that cold blood that had been shunted into your arms and legs can suddenly come flooding back towards your heart. And that returning wave of cold blood can throw the heart into a fatal rhythm. Doctors have a name for it: circumrescue collapse. People have died on the deck of the rescue boat, wrapped in a blanket, technically saved. Moments after the worst was already behind them, so think again about that boat, that dock, that riverbank. The people this kills are, again and again, strong swimmers, close to safety, wearing no life jacket, absolutely certain that being good in the water was the thing that would save them. It isn't. Because the water was never waiting for you to get tired. It was waiting for you to breathe.